No, we do. Pleasant good evening and welcome. Welcome once and all, well, one and all, I should say, to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time, right here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis, and Chicago, and of course, the best music of your life.com. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, my good friend Tony Wilson join us later on this evening. He has a little announcement to make, and I want everybody to hear it. So we're going to wait for a while so he can make his special announcement, all right? Otherwise, coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. And that comes up at our last hour here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Kicking it off with Phil Perry and the Whispers. This is called Pretty Lady. Check it out on Bedtime Stories. Sing, boy. Lady G. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. What's going on, Javier? Thanks for joining us on Bedtime Stories, sir. Or I should say, muchas gracias, senor. Lori Howard, what's going on? and happy birthday to your oldest son. And also hello to my son, Herb Howard. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, everybody. How was your weekend? Hopefully, your weekend was just as uneventful as mine. Um, hopefully. uh, uh, I mean, I can't complain about my weekend. I made it through, so I can't complain. Nor would I try to complain about it. It is what it is. Enjoyed myself on Saturday at Richard Pegue's original Dusty Record Convention, along with Ray Neal and company. Uh, had a great time over there. It was all good. Over on 87th and Paulina, I think it was. Yeah, yeah. He had so many people there. It was just wonderful. So I guess you could say it's a testimony, an outpouring of love. Because, of course, this was a new place, and it was just enough to hold everybody. And it's truly amazing because he did it by passing out pluckers. And yeah, it was nice, Red. He did it by passing out pluggers and announcing it on his radio station, internet radio station. I mean, no longer did he have the power of an FM, which was WKKC. It was just word of mouth, internet, and passing out pluggers, and we had a great time. Had a great time. Hey, Justin.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, Doc. You said you wanted those two interviews, right?
Yep.
I'll send them your way. Let me know when you got them.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Cool. But internet, word of mouth, and pluggers. Yep. We had a ball. I'm, I, I don't know what to say. Um, but all I have to say is we had a great time. He had a great turnout, and that was it. You said you were not going and you weren't invited. Blah blah blah. See, you had a good time anyway. I absolutely did, and no, I wasn't planning on going. Um, as a matter of fact, I called Ray that morning or text him. I texted him. I said, I guess, well, I'm not invited to the convention. And Ray turned around and called me. He's like, well, Uncle Al, of course you know, he gave me that spiel about me being a legend and, part of Richard Pegue's legacy and this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, all right. I hear you. So I went, I stayed longer than I thought I was and ended up going back because I thought I had to work at Williams and Pizza. Well, they called me and told me it was slow, don't come in. I'm like, okay. So I went back and, you know, helped them move equipment. Gladys Marie Knight. and the makings of you right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much on behalf of Ray Neal and Ray Neal Media and everyone who came out to the Dusty Record Convention on Saturday over at St. Ethelrita's, which is on 87th and Paulina. What a turnout. What a turnout. What a testimony. And I told Lady G I wasn't going. Well, I'm like, I've been to how many conventions since Richard been gone and even before that. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna miss anything. But the fact it was at a new place and you run into people that you haven't seen in a while because, during the pandemic, nobody went anywhere. So for everybody to come out in full force to this new place, this was word of mouth, passing out pluggers, and of course, listening to Ray Neal media stations. That's how he got his crowd. And I was like, you did good. You did good, nephew. Not only did I go, I stayed longer than I said I was going to stay. And I even went back to help him later on. Because I thought he was going to go to 9. He was like, I got there. It's like, oh, no, it's all over with. So I went ahead and helped him, move equipment and everything else because I know how it can be. Especially with the weather dropping like this, it's hard to get good help these days, and sure enough, his brothers and his nephews helped. And of course, his uncle helped as well. It's Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and Brother Keith Washington. This is Kissing You. I just love to kiss. For those of you who know me or have kissed me before, I love me some soft lips and a tongue too, Ronnie! Ron. Yeah. But him had a good time. Yep. Had a great time. Yep. Uncle Sam Chapman was there. So it was good. It was all good. Didn't tell me about it. It was posted on social media, you know. But well, once again, I was not planning on going. But once again, hey Latanya, what's going on, Hollywood? But like I said, ended up staying. I stayed for a while. Stay a while with me. I missed the beginning of it. Usually, I open up the convention, and yeah, I kind of missed the at work now. Back at work. All right, say hello to everybody over at Laura Vita. Yeah, I know I keep saying I'm gonna stop by. I just have no time. The guy that helped Sam selling those rings gave me one. Oh, that guy's name is Chuck. Chuck is like Uncle Sam's sidekick. It's like his adopted son. So Chuck is a good guy. He is. How can I put it? Chuck is. He's loyal. He's loyal to Uncle Sam, and it reminds me of us when Richard was still here. We were so. We were so loyal to Richard. And Richard, that was a big thing about Richard. Um, that whole loyalty thing. and we were loyal to a fault. We, we're, I hate to use this analogy, but hey, Bree, we were we were like his disciples, and we followed him around like the disciples followed around Jesus because he was, you know, he was the man. You know, some of them followed him a little too closely. Lamont, PJ, especially EJ's hollering Pawpaw. Hey, EJ. Hey, EJ. Uh-oh. Naomi better watch out. He's saying Pawpaw now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So Pawpaw. But yeah, we used to follow Richard around, but Richard was for the most part a good guy to follow around. He had his he had his ways though. He had his ways. She gonna flip him out the way. I know, right? Yeah. Richard had his ways. And either people liked him or they hated him. There was no in between. Because I remember he was the music director at WVON. And he was actually brought in by Herb Kent. And, Herb brought him in and he became Herb's boss. And before you know it, Richard had worked his way up from the ranks of just being, an intern and helping out in production and everything else. So she's singing Waiting on You to Start. Oh, okay. Let me. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and washed up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. That's for my granddaughter, yes. He said, there's my pawpaw. Oh. He said he's worse than Naomi. Yeah, well, he's talking now. He was walking before he was talking. With her, she was talking first. I remember we were sitting in the car and we were going somewhere. And she was sitting in the back with you. And some of her first, instead of mama and papa or dada, it was pawpaw. And I'm like, hey, Benita. What's going on, Benita? Lady G said, Ray gave me a bunch of pluggers and flyers to leave on the table downstairs. They all were gone. When I finally came down to get my, when I got, wow. Anyway, what's going on, Benita? But, once again, Richard was a good guy to follow. Good guy, get it? But, man. He had his ways, boy. He had his ways. But anyway, after you finish, he says, yay, she sleep. I'm so glad she can't hear him. I know, right? For real, she push him out the window, boy. They gonna fight. The Independence and Baby, I've been missing you right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Hello to Benita Clay. Thanks for checking in. Also to Lady G and my daughter Brianna. Uh, she said the pawpaw takeover. Uh oh. Boy, they're really going to be fighting over me now with that baby coming in March. Uh oh. And another girl? Uh oh. Mm-mm-mm. They're going to be fighting for Pawpaw's attention. But anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, also known as Pawpaw. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Hello to Ronnie as well. Thanks for checking in. And to Latanya Lynn Garrett, who works over at La Rabita. I've been saying I was going to get over there, but I'm just I'm just so busy. It's ridiculous. I have not had a day off since. Some people get a day off work, and just they just do nothing. They just chill. I have not had that. Not had that. So yeah. She said, "I'm praying for you and your pockets." Yeah, y'all killing me over here. You know, I tried to go get another car, and the only way I can get a car is to pay cash for it. Yeah, it's that bad. My credit has to build back up, but it's okay. I ain't complaining, trust me, because by the weekend I'll be rolling in another car. That's right. No moss grows under my feet. I come back from the ashes like the phoenix, baby. You're the Jones Girls on Bedtime Stories. Yeah, I know, Ronnie, and it's like Dr. Pawpaw. Yeah, Dr. Pawpaw. Yep, it's the doctor of the pawpaws. Yep, 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 yep. So, yes, it is now officially sinus season. And it's like, for the, if it wasn't for the fact that I was asleep earlier, my nose would be running. I know, go catch it, right? Anyway, oh yeah, it's bad. It is bad because you got to think. I use my voice, so like if I lose my voice, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. It's a then da da no 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 yeah. So um, it's kind of cool that we're still wearing masks. So when I go outside, I'm like, I'm gonna definitely have a mask on because that cold air will kill ya. I remember I was, especially at the height of the pandemic, I had on one of them ninja masks. It was just, you know, I was totally covered. All you could see was my eyes. I was like, I ain't taking no chances around you all. I heard one of my coworkers got COVID and they'll be out all week. I'm like, this COVID ain't no joke. And if you haven't been vaccinated, it's like you really should. You really should. Lady G says it's supposed to snow in the next 3 days. I'm not looking forward to that. They will get no complaints about me about wearing it now. I know that's right. I hear you. I understand. I totally get it. Totally. So that's right. So if you haven't had your flu shot, make sure you get that too. I think they give out flu shots over at Walgreens. So looks like I'm going to break down and get that. So because it's no joke out here. I mean, back in the day, we'd sit in. sneeze in each other's faces as a joke. Now, them fight words, that's like saying your mama. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it ain't no joke. It's like, don't you sneeze in my face. You know, you sneeze in somebody's face, you asking for a fight. That's like saying yo mama. So yeah, it's rough out here. It is rough out, especially now with the temperature dropping. You know, it's 70 one day and then the next day it drops down to 40. That ain't no joke. Yeah. VD, viral droplets. Yeah, that too. But and I thought I heard the heat on one day. I heard the radiators, but they haven't bled them yet. So as soon as they do, we'll be all right. You know, we'll be all right. You know, once we get into it, it's not going to be so bad. But right now, it's so bad. Yeah. Ronnie said that's why I'm not going back to the office. I wish I could stay at home. I really do. I wish I could stay at home and do my shows and everything else, but it don't look like that's going to happen. Especially now that we're shorthanded at work. I mean, it's so short. It's just two men, me, me and Titus Williams. We're the two live crew. Two, you know, we tag team. That's it's just two of us. You know, we was singing tag team back again. Scoop, there it is. It's just us. You know, I mean, there are other people who come in on the weekends, but the nucleus of the station is just him and I. And I never thought that was going to happen, especially at VON. I'm like, they're going to fire me any day. You know, every day I go to work, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get fired today. And, you know, it doesn't happen, you know. And now that we're shorthanded, it's like, it ain't going to happen anytime soon. To like get somebody up to speed who knows what they're doing at the station, then I think they'll let me go then. You know, they're like, oh, that's this old guy. They got a thing about old people down over there. I'm like the oldest one on staff there, you know. So it's like, yeah, it's that bad. Anytime it's that bad and they have to keep me, oh yeah, it's bad. Oh man. Like I was telling a friend of mine, I said, my ultimate goal is to uh, not that I want to copy off of him, but Rick Party does like two different stations while just sitting at home. And eventually that's what I want to do. That and do voiceovers. So hopefully I'll be able to do that and be at home. Ned Robinson, Brenda Brown Long, Chris Bass, Fahim Manure. Say it right. Say it out. Good to see you guys. Thank you for stopping through. I appreciate you. Lady G said, turn on my heat for the first time in a year. I know that's right. You know, you hear that wind whistling outside. It's like, oh, yeah, it's time. The Jones Girls. And who can I run to right here on Bedtime Stories? It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you to Lady G. Thanks to Ronnie and to everybody else who has checked me out on Facebook Live. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Ronnie was saying something that kind of got to me, and that is that It's officially, um, I can't say hay fever, but yeah, sinus season. So for those of you who suffer from that, like myself, yeah, it's anytime the weather goes from like 70 degrees one day and the next day it drops down to 40, it's like, oh yeah, this is pneumonia weather. So I urge everybody to go out and get your flu shots. All right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you get your flu shots. Hey, Phyllis. So Phyllis is in the building. Hey, Phyllis. Good seeing you on Saturday over the Dusty Record Convention. Yeah, we had a good time over there. Red, thank you so much as well. I know I still owe you, Red. I got you. It's I've been playing catch up. Yeah, been playing catch up all summer and part of the winter now. Well, it's just fall. It's not even officially winter yet, but it's getting there, folks. The hawk is right around the corner. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer and Glenn Jones. Bring back your love, girl, on Bedtime Stories. Phyllis. Ah, there's no doubt about it. Minute Maid lemonade. Sinus season, bronchitis, pneumonia, RSV, COVID, flu, all the above. Yep. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yep. It's sinus time. Ooh, ah, ooh. Down, down. Phyllis said, I've never taken a flu shot. I did a few years ago, Phyllis. And I'm not going to lie. It was like, oh, I think I felt worse after taking the flu shot. I really do. I felt like, oh, oh. I mean, just crazy. I think I felt worse after taking the flu shot. Yeah. He said they shoot you with the flu. I'm like, okay. And that was it. After that, I was sick for a whole day. But after that, of course, went away. Same thing with the COVID shot. I remember getting that. They said, okay, which arm you want it in? I said, oh, put it in my left arm. I was miserable. I sleep on my left side. What was I thinking? Because I didn't want to put it in my right arm because I use my right hand. I'm right handed. Sometimes I use, left hand in case the right hand gets tired. But anyway, hey, the struggle is real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real. I don't mind telling you, some nights I have to, that's how I go to sleep, you know. Yeah. It's funny, it never happened to me. I had nothing but a sore arm. When I got that first COVID shot, it was like, oh, second COVID shot, oh, not so bad. I said, I'm not going back to get the booster. And I didn't. And I did not go back because um, some people got it and some people didn't. It depends on a lot factors in, and it has a lot to do with your metabolism and what you eat and everything, you know. How many people are in your house that go out on a regular basis? Well, as you can see, I'm by myself. So there is nobody going in and out of my house being subjected to the elements, and not earth, wind, and fire, of course. But as you can see, I'm basically by myself. So no need to worry. So everything is, as we used to say back in the day, everything is copacetic. You know. So that's it. I go to work. I sit in my room. Um, After every show, the studio is sprayed down. So I think we're doing pretty well. We keep some Lysol. Drink plenty of wheatgrass. Eat sea moss. Okay, I'll pass on that, Phyllis. I'm sorry. I'll pass on the sea moss. Yeah, but they keep saying that um, certain people will get it and certain people won't. Certain people will get it again and again if they're not careful. You'll continue to get it. So, Roberta, what's going on? Minneapolis in the house. Sea moss is not that bad. I don't know. I'll take your words for it, but I don't think I've ever had sea moss. My thing is I drink as much water as I can. Now they have plenty of water at work. So the whole thing is to, stay hydrated, and trust me, once that water hits me, I have to go to the bathroom and it's coming out either end and it's got to go. So that's it. So, yep. So, certain things I worry about and others I don't. I don't worry about it, And I figure it's a gel you can mix with a juice. Okay, well, if you bring me some sea moss, I'll drink it. I'm not going to go looking for it at the health food store. Trust me. You know, just like somebody brought me a plunger, somebody bring me some sea moss and I'll drink it. If that does the trick, you know. Water is good. I drink 64 ounces a day, which they say you should, you know. And I got a whole case of water, a whole case of it. I'm sorry, a whole 3 cases of it. So, you know, once again, and I think it's worse with older people as far as the virus is concerned. Yeah, but President Biden got on TV. He said that the pandemic is over. No, President Biden, the pandemic is not over. Um, just like chivalry is not dead; it's on life support. So that's it. We're just not as, I guess, we're just not as afraid as we were before because we have options, and those options are to take those shots. The two and the booster, the bivalent booster. So that's the thing. Take the booster, please. Take my life, please. So anyway, I heard Al Greer is considered the Alex Jones of Chicago. Good evening, Troy. Good evening to you too, sir. But once again, you bring me the sea moss. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some sea moss. it just doesn't sound appetizing. Sea moss. Like, okay. So it is what it is. Sea moss. Yeah. So I thought they had turned on the heat in my building, but obviously, they were probably testing it out. And that 70-degree day, it was like, no, we're going to cut it back off. We're going to wait until December and turn it on. Meanwhile, I have strategically placed um, space heaters. So this room is the warmest room in the house. I might switch bedrooms here. She was in town this past weekend, and well, actually, she was in the Hammond Casino. As a matter of fact, Stephanie Mills and Field the Fire, right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Her and Will Downing put on a great show, I should say. So kudos to them. Stephanie Mills, Will Downing at the casino in Hammond, Indiana. Hello. Good evening to Troy Anthony, the Soul Pole. He said, I heard Al Greer is considered the Alex Jones of South Chicago. Actually, that's my grandson's name, Alex Jones, Alexander Scott Jones. So if that's the one you're talking about, then I'm in good company. Again, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. During sinus season, one day it's 70 degrees, the next day it drops down to 40. Protect yourselves. Drink plenty of water. And of course, vitamin C is very good for you. Yep, that's what my doctor used to tell me. He said some of these other doctors are quacks when they tell you that. But he swore by it. Here's Rance Allen from 79. Any one of those vaccines have a small amount of live virus. It also depends on how strong your immune system is. Some people, like yourself and myself, have different reactions to it. I had a mild reaction. You had a more stronger one. But once it gets into your body's immune system, it would help strengthen the antibodies already in your body. Hello. All right. I saw you and Ruby Andrews' picture you posted. Yes. Ruby and I, how can I put it? Ruby's like, she's cool. You know, Ruby is Ruby is the bomb. Ruby is always the same. She is the same all the time. Out of all of the celebrities that I've ever met in this business, Ruby is always going to be the same. She's always going to be Ruby. Was she at the Dusty Record Convention? Absolutely. She was sitting on stage with her back to the audience, sitting not far from where Ray Neal was. But she was at the convention. And I've never seen Ruby's real hair. Ruby always wears that same wig, that same hair weave, whatever, you know. And Ruby's always been the same. She's always been cool to me. I just love me some Ruby Andrews, Ruby Stackhouse. And this past summer, we were at the Blues Fest out in Millennium Park. And she did a great job, for someone, every now and then she'll sing here, but most of the time she's going out of town, out the country to sing. That's where she makes her money. And I ain't mad at you, Ruby. You get much respect from me. She is just so cool. You know, I remember when I got married the first time, my first wife, when it was all over with, she said, "I'm so glad you were so miserable back then." I said, "Dad, did you notice that I was miserable?" She said, "Honey, I'm so glad you got rid of her. She was bringing you down. You were looking older than you were, and you was only 50 at the time." I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Hmm." Yeah, she said, "I'm so glad." He said, "You got back to being you." She wanted you to be old so nobody would want you. You know, she said, do you?" She said, "Do you?" And I said, "I know what that means, Ruby. I know what that means." She said, "No, do you?" You know, and that was it. And I took her advice. She said, "Don't ever do anything to please somebody else because at the end of the day, when they're gone, you'll be like, what did I do that for?" I wanted to get a tattoo of the young lady that I was dating at the time. I was at a tattoo party where everybody was like, you know, "Hey, I want this, and I want this on my arm, and I want this on my back, I want this on my chest." And it was like, okay. And everybody, I mean, just about everybody was getting tattoos that night. And I was like, I called my girl. I said, "I'm at a tattoo party. I'm DJing a tattoo party. I want to get your name on me. I want to get your name tattooed on my body somewhere." You know, she talked me out of it. Now I thought she may have wanted me to do something like that, because she was how can you put it? She was a narcissist. So I thought she would want me to do that. And she talked me out of it. I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So I didn't do it. I didn't get the tattoo. I'm glad I didn't because we ended up breaking up. So, you know, that was one thing that was good that came out of that relationship, that I didn't get a tattoo. But I said, I'm gonna wait till I get married again and get a tattoo of whomever is going to be my wife, and that's it. So I said, well, I'm going to wait. And then when I got married the second time, I was going to get a tattoo, and still, you know, I'm still on the fence about that. So my thing is, once you get a tattoo, it's permanent. Unless you go get it redone or whatever, you know, turn those letters into something else, you know, it's hard to change it once it's done, because it's permanent. It's like it ain't like no marker or something. It's like permanent. To this day, my ex still says my first tattoo has to be one of his name, but little does he know I have two he hasn't seen. Oh, really? Okay, I hear you. But I always said I wanted a tattoo of my wife, her name or something on me. But it's like I'm glad I didn't do it because hell, we're not together. So it's like that would be a constant reminder. Like, I did that. A constant. sad reminder. Like, oh Lord, why did I do that? I had a mild COVID infection back in July. Thank God I didn't have to go to the hospital. Fortunately, I still have what they call long COVID. I still have the dizziness, fatigue, shortness of breath. Yeah. Oh, it's not of his name, huh, Ronnie? But you know how it is when you're in love. You want that person's name all over your body. But if it don't work out, it's like I was I was an idiot. I love that last part when he says, "I ain't got no girl." That's for sure. Switch and calling all girls right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep. With the greatest love songs of all time. We're talking about tattoos right now. I was at a tattoo party a few years ago. This young lady by the name of Louise, or Wheezy as we call her, she had this tattoo party. So everybody at the party was getting tattoos. And my then girlfriend, I called her, I said, they got a tattoo party going on. I think I want to get your name on my body. She was like, you do and we're through. I'm like, wow. And I thought, by her being such a narcissist, that she would want me to do that. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take her advice and not to do it. Troy knows who I'm talking about, you know. So I said, I'm so glad I didn't get her name on me. I'm so glad. I said, I'm going to wait till I get married. And then I got married the first time. I didn't want her name on me either. I don't know. I'm a hopeless romantic. And I thought, yeah. I said, but if it don't work out and you get stuck with that person's name on your body, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because it's a constant reminder of how it didn't work out. And once again, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'd be mad every day, taking a shower, looking at that broad's name. Here's some Blue Eyed Soul, Player, Baby Come Back on Bedtime Stories with the Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. Here comes. I had an infection, long ding dong. Okay. That's funny. Everything about you, you can blame it on. You're a funny guy, I tell you. You're funny. Huh? You crack me up. Used up all the love in your heart. 2, 3. BB comic. And I just can't live. That's a term that Daryl Hall of Hall and Oates hates. And that's the term blue eyed soul. I'm like, why? He said soul is soul, whether it's blue eyed or otherwise. But that was an affectionate term given to some of the music that came out back in the day by white artists. They call it blue eyed soul. You had blue eyed soul brothers like the Righteous Brothers, um, Wayne Cochran, and the CC Riders. You had blue eyed soul brothers. You had Tom Jones. Tom could out black anybody back in the day. He went from wearing his hair straight to wearing a curly perm. He was like, I ain't gonna be out brothered by the brothers. So the Bee Gees, thank you. Blue Eyed Soul. They were singing falsetto. All the black guys were singing falsetto. You had Eddie Kendricks and all the rest of them. So the Bee Gees started doing it. They're like, oh yeah, okay, Bee Gees, brother Bee Gees. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and it's time to do the Grubhub delivery dance. Dub, dub, dub. I know Carlton Banks from Grubhub. That's right. Grub what you love. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to my sister from another mister, Dinah Lynn Biggs. Thank you so much. I know she's out there listening. She never comments, but I know she's listening. You know, and I got to say this, and she might want to kick my butt when she sees me, but back in the day, we were close friends. We were so close that she had a boyfriend. She was dating this coach. He was a coach of a high school or whatever. I think he was at Gary Lou Wallace or Roosevelt, one of those high schools in Gary, Indiana. And he was not nice. So she stopped dating nobodies and she started dating somebodies, meaning people who are in the business. She dated this sportscaster and this famous popular DJ who was on WGCI back in the day. And I got to say, I was a little jealous. I had not become as popular yet because I was still in you know my learning stages. I hadn't paid my dues yet. But these guys, and they were no better than the high school coach. They were buttholes too. It's like they just, were well-known buttholes. She said she rolled up on this one guy one day. She came to his house, and there was a crowd of people watching him wash and wax his car. And people were just watching him wash his car. She was like, what have I gotten myself into? And come to turn out, he was a jerk too. Him and the radio personality. They were both jerks. And I had to sit back and watch this, and it just hurt my heart. I said, "You deserve better." But at the time, we were brother and sister, so I didn't make waves. I didn't want to change anything. I felt that if we you know how when you cross that line, you can't go back. So I stayed on the other side of the line. But what if? What if? I'm just saying. Yeah, I'd have been Mr. Biggs. But anyway, it's David Oliver and Ms. on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hey, Preston Shanks. Yep, I'd have changed my name. I'd have changed my name to Biggs so I could be Mr. Biggs. This is Mr. Biggs. Casper Perry, good luck. Thank you. On what? good, good luck on what, sir? What are you talking about, Mr. Perry? He said, good luck. Mm-mm. Now, those days are over with. I would not cross the line with anyone. I have I have learned my lesson. I can say off the air, Mr. Biggs, I know, right? You know, that ship has sailed. That ship has definitely sailed. You know, that was long time ago. Long time, long time. That's that's a dream, because back in the day, they used to have this saying, nobody's finer than Dinah. Like, you all are crazy. You all are out of your minds. But, back in the day, she was light skinned and cute. And I mean, she hasn't aged, you know. So she basically looks the same as she did back in the day. So, she still has guys chasing her to this day. So, but me, Lady G says there are certain lines that should never be crossed, and I won't ever make that mistake again. Thank you. Shawlights, 19, yeah. My first mistake. Now, mistake again. But I understand. Certain lines should not be crossed. I definitely learned that one. And that's just it. There's a young lady now who called me the other day. She said, "Hello, brother." I'm like, "Why'd you say it like that?" "Hello, brother." Because every time she's online, she's posting these pictures. Her name is Val. And every time Val posts these pictures, I, "Hey, sis, hello, brother." That is one line I don't want to cross because, you know, my mistakes, I love you, girl. Yeah. If I pass, if I, you know, I'm not known as a habitual line stepper like Rick James was. Rick James was, but it's like, I can't. Mm-mm. I remember one day when I was still working in River Oaks, she walked up to me, and guys in the mall, they just stopped and looked at her and looked at me, and they're like, "Pops, you got it going on, Pops." I said, "No, this is my sister." And she proceeded to hug me even tighter, like, "Yeah, this is my brother." She did it like that. I'm like, "What? See, I'm trying to stay out of trouble." "Yes, brother." Mm-mm. I was like, yeah. But that's always been my stance. It's like if you're brother and sister, then stay that. Like in high school, in grammar school, I had because mom refused to have any more children. She was like, I said, come on, Mom, I want a little sister. And here comes Chris. I'm like, Mom, I want a little sister. That's not a girl. What are you doing? So of course I never got that little sister. Um, so back in the day, it was just um, it was Angela and it was Mary. So those are my little sisters, and that was it. Yep, that was it. That was all. And it looks like my program, it is frozen up there. Oh, still playing though. Cool. Mm-mm. Said you are trouble. Well, yes, I've been known to be trouble before. Yes, yes, I can be trouble. Yes. So a friend of mine bought me these glue traps to catch um, the added tenant or roommate in my house, the uh, unwanted roommate, and one of them got away. I guess he must have gnawed his foot off to get away. I'm like, oh, they do that, huh? Elaine James, hello, Elaine. So I put the glue traps all over the house, and lo and behold, I caught one. I said, got caught, huh? Eating my peanut butter cookies. So I was like, I didn't want to pick it up. So I grabbed the broom. Of course, the glue trap stuck to the broom, and I'm trying to get the glue trap off. And it's like, ah! So I left the broom and the glue trap and the mouse outside. Well, how many people know that, you know, cats smell that? And I know that's probably inhumane to have done that and left the poor mouse out there for the cat. But cats got to eat too. I'm just saying. He wasn't wanted in my house, so plus he ate my damn cookies. Mm-mm-mm. From the Dana Owens album, that is, of course, Dana Owens and Albert Green, also known as Queen Latifah and Al Green, and Simply Beautiful. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to my son. He said, hello, Dad. Love you dearly. Wouldn't be nothing without you. Now you're trying to make me cry. Okay, you did it. Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that. We had a talk the other day, and as a father, you have to uplift your children and tell them it's going to be all right. I'm going through something. You're going through something. Everybody's going through something, everybody goes through something. It's, your season, like the beginning of the year. Oh yeah, new apartment, new car. I was riding high, and then the car got taken, but I still got the crib. Oh, don't get me wrong. Whatever I need to do to keep this crib, I'm gonna do it. But and as much as I miss my little car, it's like, okay. Sometimes you have to let go of things to get new things, or to get better things, or to get what you want. So sometimes you just have to let things go, and I let the car go. Now, if I get it back, fine. If I don't get it back, fine. If I get another one, that's even better. Sometimes you have to start again at ground zero. So I am not going to complain, because if you worry about it, like they say, if you pray, don't worry. If you worry, don't pray. So I'm not trying to, uh, not trying to preach or anything, but like I told my son the other night, I said, the song says we fall down, but we get back up. We fall down, but we get right back up. Sometimes things happen for a reason, and only for a season. Here's One Way featuring Al Hudson and Something in the Past. That's why they call it the past, because it's behind us. Put it behind you, son. Put it behind you. Yep. Keep getting up, keep waking up. When you get up, when you wake up, get up and do something. And you'll always be. Elaine said, trust and believe and keep the faith no matter what. And that's right. Whatever it takes, you have to, that's what you have to do. Whatever it takes. If you wake up, get up and do something. Don't just lay there in the bed and feel sorry for yourself because of something that you don't have. Because if you didn't have it before, then you don't miss it. Before I had a truck. Guess what? I'm driving a truck again. Before the truck, I had a van. Guess what? I'll have another van. Everything comes for full circle. Once again, everything happens for a reason and only for a season. Most seasons last what? 3 months? And that's it. So the thing is, you got to keep going, keep moving forward. Oh, that didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, and that's okay. you know, got my income tax back, and now, that money's gone, and then now it's like, okay, now you owe $1,800. I'm like, how did that happen? But that's okay. They took whatever was owed, they gave me the rest, and then now they want the rest again. Which is why I didn't take that stimulus check. Everybody was like, "Did you get your stimulus check?" I'm like, during that pandemic, I kept going to work. I kept getting up and going to work. I had this weird schedule. I worked 2 nights and 2 days. I worked Monday and Tuesday night, was off Wednesday, and I worked Thursday and Friday morning, and was off Saturday. So it was up and down, up and down. My sleep was Sleep was crazy. Um, I would leave the gospel station at 2 o'clock in the morning, go home, sleep, and I would get up, and I didn't have to be at work until like what 7, 8 o'clock at night or something like that, 10 o'clock at night. So bigger, better, greater for all of us. Amen. Amen. And it was weird. I get off at 6 o'clock in the morning. When most people are getting up to go to work, I was on my way home. Third shift, baby, baby. I would stay, do my show live, go home Monday and Tuesday. Was off Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday. Thursday I was at VON in the morning. Later on that evening, I was at the gospel station. So it was like my sleep was just thrown off. Now it's like a straight Monday through Friday, 11 to 6. Cool. So I'm getting, some much needed rest. When I get off from doing my show, I'm usually in the bed about no later than 2 o'clock. Takes a little bit longer for me to wind down. So, you know, and of course I come home, take a nap, get up, do the show, lay back down. John Caldwell, what's going on, sir? Good seeing you on Saturday. So, I'm getting better sleep. Not more sleep, but better sleep. And of course, the weed is helping. But anyway. No, no. John Caldwell. Man, we had a great time on Saturday at Pearl's Place. One of my favorite breakfast places, Pearl's Place, Bailey's, and that's it. That's all that's left. Army and Lou's is closed. Gladys's is closed. Queen of the Sea. the love lights, and how can I tell my mom and dad that I've been doing the thing? With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. And I had I guess the privilege of talking to this gentleman the other day. That is my boy. I'm going to switch the music here. Wait a minute. Let me stop this and put this on. There we go. It's my interview music. On the phone line right now, my brother from another mother. I was at a concert one night, and me and my wife, this was when we were together, we were standing in line for a concert. I don't even remember what the concert was, but we were standing in line. And Tony walks up and he says, "Man, what are you doing, man? I'm waiting to get in. I'm standing in line like everybody else." "Man, you Al Greer, man, come on." He grabbed my hand, I grabbed her hand, and we walked, and he walked me right to the front. He said, "This is where you belong, up front. You VIP, you Al Greer." Like, thank you, Tony. Hope I didn't get in trouble that night. But anyway, on the phone line, my brother from another mother, Mr. Tony Wilson. Of course, this was pre-recorded the other day, but enjoy. AKA Young James Brown. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing there, Al Greer?
Man, I can't complain. I got up this morning. That's half the battle.
And that's it. That's all we need.
So what brings you here, man?
Well, man, I am definitely proud that I'm being honored by the African American Arts Alliance on the 14th, on a Monday. And they give me a special recognition excellence award. Jackie Taylor and a committee, Jackie Williams. So that's great. And I'm doing a concert, as you know, James Brown, 90th birthday is coming up, his birthday year. We're going to celebrate it, and we have a Live in America tour that's actually getting ready to go out with Climax and with the Stone City Band and Special Formula, which is the #1 Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute. But here in Chicago, for Chicago, on GlenwoodOaks.net, we have a James Brown tribute with live horns. We got the Ohio Player horns. Tony Wilson, the Godfather Soul Band, will be at Glenwood Oaks, 106 North Main, on November the 18th. 2 shows, 6 and 8 p.m. So just go to GlenwoodOaks.net and you can get yourself some tickets.
I just have one question. Who's the DJ at Glenwood Oaks?
Glenwood Oaks, we hoping it's going to be no other than the #1 Al Greer, like he was there last time for James Brown 89th. This is the 90th now. We got to get going.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, congratulations on all the accolades. It's a long time coming, but it's well deserved, brother.
It is, and like I said, GlenwoodOaks.net is the place to be. You can always see my website and what I do at YoungJamesBrown.com, Young James Brown on Instagram, Tony Wilson on Facebook. Thank you.
No, thank you, Tony. Thank you. Like that song says, thank you for being my friend. Tony Wilson, aka Young James Brown. Check him out at YoungJamesBrown.com, or just type in Tony Wilson in your space bar, the Google thing, and look up Tony Wilson. He was given that name by James Brown. James started calling him Young James Brown, and he's been keeping the tradition going. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. It's like James didn't have no slow songs, except for this one. Not that one. That's the one. It's like, that's all he's saying. He's just saying, please, please, please. Where are the lyrics? He said, listen, it's the emotion. Did me wrong. You done me wrong. Now you're gone. Throw the cape on me. peas, peas. Please, peas. You'll find me. I'm just a prisoner on the green federal label. You got the 78? Oh, no. Mm-mm-mm. Bodo, dodo. 1956, yep. Yep, 1956. They stopped making 78s, I know, yeah. They were too brittle. They would, if you dropped a box of 78s, you might as well just keep walking. They were done. Prisoner of love. Boom, boom, boom. Prisoner of love. Mm. They told James, he had to do some standards as well. He's like, yeah, ain't gonna sing nobody else's song. I'll write my own songs. So he did Prisoner of Love, boy. Please. Tony Bennett's version didn't have nothing on James Brown, I tell you. JB, Prisoner of Love, before that, Please, 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 from 1955 and 1956, in that order. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. John Caldwell said they stopped making 78s by 61. Yeah, they were so brittle. 45s, you could get better fidelity out of them. They weren't as easy to break. They had the acetate 45s and they had the regular um, vinyl 45s. Now, what happened was, um, you would get what they call Q burn on the acetate ones. So, if you were a DJ, you know what Q burn is. It's like, you started the record up and it had that in the beginning of it. And then, anyway, sorry for scaring you guys like that. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, thank you to Tony Wilson. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working for you and with you once again. I remember last time I just bought a new computer from Uncle Ron. Uncle Ron, I know you're mad at me, but I just bought this new computer. I didn't have it configured quick enough. And I thought I was just going to plug it in and start playing. Man, that computer said, no, bro, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it didn't work out. I was like, okay. So during his performance, I did what I needed to do to get it working. So it was like, I thought I was just going to plug that sucker and it was just going to go. It's like it was already configured to Uncle Ronnie's equipment, his controller and everything. I said, oh, okay, well. And Tony was like, you ready? You ready? Come on, you ready? You ready? I agree. Just like James Brown, too. I wasn't ready. So I got fined that night. But anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer with the Gap Band, Uncle Charlie, and going in circles on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Mm-hmm. Without a destination, till I drop. You got me going. Got my tequila going to relax. Not the tequila. That's what's up. I haven't had any tequila in a while, and there's a reason because I don't have any tequila in my house for now. Um, Banisters. I don't have banisters going up. I have to climb 20 stairs to get up to my apartment, which I affectionately call the penthouse. And there are no banisters. So on those nights that I've had something to drink, I got to take my time going up the steps. I have given this man half money down to put a banister up, and it still hasn't, yeah. So I ain't gonna worry about it. I know that somebody is going to donate a banister to me. I need one badly because, like I said, I'm getting, right, the only drink diabetes can drink is tequila, yeah. Blue agave. But it's like those nights I'd be so tired and I'm holding on to the wall. It's like, that's going to be my demise, sliding down, going back down the steps. So if you know of anyone who's going to donate a banister to me, install it and all of that stuff, please, please, please. In the words of James Brown, please, 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 I need a banister. Please help me. because I would hate to fall down the steps, especially carrying my computer and got my bag on my back and all that stuff. It's just, yeah, wouldn't be good at all. Not at all. Not a good thing. Spinning around. Play some Joan Jett, because I love rock and roll. I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. I need you, baby. So it was funny. At the Dusty Record Convention on Saturday, Ray had the bright idea that he was going to go live on Facebook Live. And every song that he played belonged to somebody. And they were like, "We're about to interrupt your live video because you're using playing music that other people." Yeah, Facebook has that bad. That's why you don't hear the music as loud as I would normally play it in the background. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they will cut you off at the knees. So yeah, that's why you never hear me playing the music. For those new people, uh, that come in and they say, "Well, he ain't playing no music." I was like, "No, if we play some music, it's gonna be a rap." So no, no, yeah, no music, no music. Sorry, you just have to listen. You're right. You don't own the rights, and that doesn't work out for some strange reason. When you put, "I do not own the rights to that," Facebook looks at that like, well, stop playing it then. Stop playing it. So that's it. I don't own the rights to this music. They're like, whatever, don't play it then. Stop playing it. So, yep, whether you own the rights or not and you post it, they're still going to snatch you down. They're going to snatch you down. Yeah. They're going to put you down. I thought it works when I hear or see people doing that. You know what? I'll try that, but usually, they just look at it and laugh like, yeah, right. Yeah. Uh-huh, sure. Okay, you don't own the rights. Why are you playing it then? It's for entertainment purposes only. I'll try it, but Sony is like, yeah, they be on it. Sony be on it. Let me try to edit it, see what happens. Because if they hear like just a little peep of the music, they'll cut me off. Yep, just a little peep. Let's try that and see what happens. You're probably cutting me off faster now. Like, you bastards. You killed Kenny, you bastards. Ken Wadlington, what's going on? He is like the king of the remakes. I Who Have Nothing, originally done by Benny King, that is Luther Vandross, and Martha Wash of the Weather Girls, formerly known as the Two Tons of Fun, who used to be background singers for Sylvester. I swear that song is just, he took it to another level. Just like he did the song Anyone Who Had a Heart. He took that to another level. I mean, to the point where, you just at the end crying, he's just pouring his little heart out, or his big heart, whichever. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to the Sister Teresa, and of course, Ken Watlington, thank you so much. He said, special prayers going out to Roberta Flack. She has ALS at 75 years old. But how many people know that is not a death sentence? Because most people, they live with it. Now, there are, medications and everything that you can take for that. So some people live through it and some, don't live through it. But, we're We're, of course, saying that she's going to make it. I'm sorry. Roberta Flack, who, of course, had a young Luther Vandross singing background for her. Yep, she was the one that fired him. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. She said, I can't sing anymore, but I'm not giving up. I know that's right. I know that's right. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going, Roberta. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories. In about 13 minutes, it's foreplay on Bedtime Stories. Right now, it's Freddie Jackson. Freddie Jackson. And I don't want to lose your love. It's Bedtime Stories. Insurance. Mhm. I don't want to lose to me. Don't want to lose. Freddie. Ready, Freddie. Good night, Ronnie. They said she won't be singing anymore, but God. Yep, but God. Don't want to lose. Good night, Ronnie. Good night. Good night. Good night, Ronnie. Take care. Don't you dare. If I ever lose this heaven. What's going on, cuz? Avis Greer in the house. A to the G. Of the moon. If I lose this heaven. Quincy Jones and Company, and If I Ever Lose This Heaven, which features Minnie Riperton and Leon Ware. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, just a hint of foreplay. Here are the emotions. I'm not ready to let you go. Tell you when I'm right. So I can love you a little bit more. Oh, turn your back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Longer, baby. From their years at Stax Records, The Emotions, and So I Can Love You, right here on Bedtime Stories, produced by Mr. Isaac Hayes, who wrote the horn arrangement. Actually, he didn't write it. He dictated it to the Memphis Horns, who played it. He's like, I want it like this, that, that, that. Because how many people knew that Mr. Isaac Hayes could not write music? He could not. But he could play by ear and he could dictate music to an arranger and say, okay, so he did the arrangement. For a long time, they wanted to take back his Oscar because, they said he couldn't read music. He didn't write it. He did. He wrote it in his head. Somebody else wrote it out for him, and that was it. And he got his Oscar fair and square, just like I got my degree. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to my cousin Avis Greer. She said we're talking about Roberta Flack, and she has ALS, which she won't be able to sing anymore. But according to Ken Watlington, she said she's not giving up. Don't give up, Roberta Flack. Don't give up. Well, it's time for the Grubhub delivery dance. We're not going to give up on that either. Make your push. Get the food you love with perks from Grub, what you love. Grubhub, a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio, DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis in Chicago, and of course, the best music of your life.com. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I really appreciate you guys. And it's time for foreplay. We were talking about her earlier. He said special prayers going out for the great Roberta Flack. She has ALS. One person said that she was 75 years old, and then Ava said she was 85 years old. So which one is it? Okay, there's one way to find out. I'm going to do a Google search. Roberta Flack. There we go. There we are. There we go. It said she has ALS and can no longer sing. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, and let's go down to there we go. All right, she's 85 years old. So Avis, you're right. Ken, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. She's also known as Rubina Flake. She was born Roberta Cleopatra Flack, February 10th, 1937, which makes her 85 years old. She was born in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Back in the day, she was like the female equivalent to Bill Withers because all of her songs basically told a story. She didn't use a lot of vocal tricks. She just sang flat footed and very soulful, not a lot of runs and everything else. She left that to her partner, which was the late, great Donny Hathaway. Tonight in Foreplay, we feature the music of Roberta Flack, 85 years young. Yeah. On Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, 85 years old. Yes, she is. Over and over again. We'll be more than friends. Yep, you were right, Avis. Ken said 75. He missed it. Yeah, yeah. ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. Yeah. True love. 85. Mm-mm. Luther has this story that he always tells about Roberta, or told about Roberta, saying that Roberta fired him. She didn't fire him. She basically pushed him out of the nest as a baby bird because he wouldn't leave. A lot of people don't know that Luther had stage fright. Did you know that? Hmm. So I'm eating a hoagie, by the way. So he was content singing behind people like Roberta Flack and David Bowie. So, yeah. So yeah, ooh, he had stage fright. But once he got out there, it was a whole different story. But he'd be huffing and puffing all the way out there. And then he'd get out there and you know, he would wow the audience. Yep. Heard somebody way cooler. Robert Stack. Robert Stack is 185 today. Robert Stack, Roberta Flack. Okay. Mm-mm. The Untouchables. Mm-mm. So she never had any kids, huh? Wow. Never had any children. Hmm. Interesting. And it doesn't mention any husbands or anything. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. No children, no husband. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Yep. No husband, no kids, no nothing. Hmm. Oh well. Oh, she was married to Steve Novosel. Okay. Don't know who he is, but okay. A professional jazz bassist, but no children. Hmm. Killing me softly. Robert Stack. Robert Stack. Today's not Robert Stack's birthday. January 13th. Charles Langford Modini Stack. Hmm. Charles Langford Modini Stack. That's a lot of name there. Hmm. Killing me. Whoa. Killing me softly. I missed the news, doggone it.
But in this one art history class I needed, but excuse me. Did you say art history? Yeah. Anyway, when I told him how much I needed it, he just gave it to me.
I'm still trying to figure out how you got this date. He's born in January of January 13th to be exact. 183 today. Okay. Mm-mm. Are you live or Memorex? I'm live, Claude. DJ Frosty. No, sir, I am live right now. You get it there. Long time, yeah. Long time, sir. I I love those stories that you were telling me about the good guys. I love to hear those stories. I love to hear those stories. I love hearing those stories.
Bubble, chicken in trouble. Honey, that chicken's gonna taste like a car wash. Anybody order salmonella and Sons? Honey, you're gonna have bubble worms. Honey, your mouth is just gonna sound like this. We're going in, y'all, episode 35, cow, mile, and poultry. Quite nice how you wash all the taste away and then you replace it with sodium chloride.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I love to hear those stories about Joe Cobb, E. Rodney Jones. That's that's history right there. That is history. You know, talk about history, and that's just it. We don't, we don't celebrate our own. I don't know why. We just don't. We don't celebrate. All the time they giving awards to, and congratulations, Bob Surratt and John Landecker and all of those guys. I'm like, but they never talk about Joe Cobb, E. Rodney Jones, Lucky Cordell, Bill Butterball Crane, Cecil Hale, Jay Johnson, Herb Kent. They talk about Herb all the time. But do you have any info on Joe Cobb? Yes. Joe Cobb is down in Arkansas, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He went back home, and he now owns a popcorn shop. Yeah. Tyrone Handy, what's going on? My brother from another mother. E. Rodney Jones, Herb Kent, Butterball, Purvis Spann. Yep, they're all pioneers. And you never hear anybody talking about them. Never. The only time I hear Melody talk about her dad is, something funny happened. It's like, yeah, my dad used to, and then, that's about it. I told her this story once. I said, I walked into WVON at the time. This was long after, VON ceased to be what it was. And these four guys were sitting at a card table. This was at 33rd and Kedzie, 3350 South Kedzie. And I was dropping somebody off, Kitty Neely. So I'm dropping her off. I'm like, where do you work at? She said 3350 South Kedzie. I didn't think anything of it. So I took her to work, right? And sitting in the middle of the radio station is this card table. And at the card table are Purvis Spann, E. Rodney Jones, Ed Cook, and Bill Doc Lee. When I tell this story, my boss, Melody Spann Cooper, said, my father didn't play cards. Okay. Well, there were 4 guys sitting at a table, and there were some cards spread out. So I don't know if they were playing cards or they were just looking at them or whatever. But it was Ed Cook, the Nassau Daddy, Bill Doc Lee, Purvis Spann, and they were sitting there playing cards. Now, were they playing cards? I don't know. She says her father didn't play cards, so I have to, But it was like, I turned and looked at Kitty Neal. I said, this is where you work? Wow. At that time it was called WXOL because they no longer could use the call letters of WVON. So it was WXOL, which stood for soul. And they played the same music that WVON played. And it was really interesting because, you had 1450 and you had 1390. Well, at that time, 1450, that frequency was dead for a while. You remember WVON back in the day? Yeah, Bill Crane is still working at WGN, but there were no other black stations. WVON was the only 24-hour black station. And it was crazy because, you had WJPC, which had a stronger signal. The only thing is WJPC, which at that time was WGRT, they would, shut the power off at sundown. So they would go off the air sometimes as early as 4 o'clock in the afternoon because it would get dark and they had to shut down. Well, WVON, the only thing they had to do was switch the power. And you could tell because you could hear it. You could hear them switching switching the power down. So, but then when Mr. Johnson bought WGRT, he made them a 24-hour station and gave them the call letters of WJPC, which stood for, the Johnson Publishing Company. So that was it. But WVON had no competition. As a matter of fact, they gave competition to WLS. At one point, they called over there and said, what are you guys doing? Because they didn't have a strong signal at all. It was not strong until they switched over to 1390, which gave them a much stronger signal. They said at night, you could hardly hear WVON. I beg to differ. South Side and West Side was just popping at night. That's how I discovered Herb Kent, listening to WVON at night. And I wanted to be like Herb. Herb was like my godfather, And I remember we were in church that day, Pastor Handy. And I had gone out to this is when we were on 51st and Halsted. And I had stepped outside. So I got a phone call. And Marv Dyson called me and told me that Herb had died. Now, this was on a Sunday. He had done his show on that Saturday morning. That evening, he was supposed to be at St. Philip Neri, but that was it. And I walked back into the sanctuary, and a pastor announced that Herb Kenner just died. And everybody turned around and looked at me like, Herb was like my second father. In fact, I used to tease mom and say, are you sure Herb's not my daddy? So, you know, Herb was my daddy. He was my radio daddy. And that was it. So he was the man. You know. That's the time. Wrapping up foreplay. I think I played more than four at that time. Roberta Flack, who has ALS, but ALS doesn't have her. That's what I'm going to say. Feel like making love. Set the night to music. Tonight, I celebrate my love to you. Strumming my pain with his fingers. Singing my life with his words. Killing me softly. And the first time ever I saw your face, which was featured in the movie Play Misty for Me, which he received a whopping $2,000 to use that song in that movie. After that, Clint Eastwood had her on every movie that he did. He's like, you're going to sing on this one too. Clint Eastwood. And I almost turned my back on the business because of that movie. Because he was a radio DJ. You know, he was a radio personality. And he had a stalker. And it was like, she would not go away. She would not go away. And I almost changed my mind about going into radio because I didn't want no stalker. Anyway, Roberta Flack, get well soon, 84 years old. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to my brother from another mother, Tyrone Handy. He loves him some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Pastor or not, he still loves Earth, Wind, and Fire. Here's Be Ever Wonderful on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Remember setting up gear for Herb in Maywood for a gig. Wow. That's all right. Mm-mm-mm. As you are. Mm-mm-mm. Now, I came in, I guess, on the tail end of how equipment used to look and how it used to be back in the day. I guess you all had those big voice of the theater speakers because now, you know, speakers are so little, you put them on tripods and, you know, put the little ones on the floor and they sound just as big as those voice of the theater speakers. What did you all use back in the day? I know they had the JBLs and they had those voice of the theaters, which looked like furniture, looked like, you know, but what did you all use back in the day? And I'm like, you know, Richard told me they used to make their own amps. They would go to this, they go to Allied Radio and they would buy the kit. And of course, Allied's, I remember smoking herb in Maywood. Okay. So, you know, back in the day, they had this really heavy equipment. And I'm like, that must have been some because I remember getting some speakers out of the theater of South Shore High School. They had them, you know, they weren't using them. They replaced all of that equipment. So all of that stuff was just sitting in there. And one of the security guards tipped me off and they said, yeah, you know, man, I don't see nothing. He said, take what you need. And I got these big old speakers. I never will forget it. And I put those speakers in the club that I was DJing at. And that club is over there on South Chicago. It's still there to this day. I don't know what happened to my speakers. The guy who was the owner of the club took my speakers. His name was Bernard. And Bernard had like several places that he was a manager at. And somebody said, Bernard took your speakers. And he probably took them to the end of the Rainbow, which was a club that was right by Rainbow Beach. It was right by the Rainbow Beach Motel. And I do believe those speakers those speakers might still be over there because now the club, which was on South Chicago, is a resale store. And my speakers are probably still in there. Wow. Empire belt drive turntables. Woo! Mm-mm-mm. That stuff must have weighed a ton back then because I would, watch Frenchie sometime move all of his stuff. I'll be like, Frenchie, I can't do it, man. I was a little puny guy back then. But, Frenchie was, he was a big guy. He was big and robust. So, he could throw them speakers in that truck before you knew it, you know. But, I tried to get that big equipment, boy. Man, my puny, but my dad helped me get this van, right? I never will forget it. Irv's Truck Land on Western. How many people know, and Ken tells me this all the time, Ken Waddington. He said, ain't nothing good over there on Western. Them cars are like, they were in floods or something. I was like, Dad, ain't nothing good over there. And sure enough, that truck, the engine locked up on it. I had to leave it on the side of the road. I was so sad. I'm like, oh man, I got to leave my truck. So I got it towed back to the house and I called who else? The the Victory Auto Records. I saw it on TV. They call them and they give you cash for your car. And I never will forget it. They pulled up, they gave me my money. I think it was like a whole $80. That was a lot of money back then. I was only a kid. And they towed the van away. My dad said, where's my money? I said, you ain't put no money into this van. I gave them all the money that I'd saved up from doing my gigs. Them meaning my parents, because they signed the papers and everything. I was only, 18, 19 years old. And I wanted a van to transport my equipment. And my dad had this bright idea to take the van and he bought some plywood and he drilled the plywood into the bed of the van, the back of the van. And he put these different carpet squares on in the back. They were different color carpet squares, which enabled me to slide the speakers in much better. Smart guy. And that worked. But the van had a twofold purpose. Well, at that time, I was still living at home. So we had these big, huge black and red throw pillows. And I would put those throw pillows in the back of the van, right? So the van already had the carpet in the back. So it became a rolling motel. So whenever I went on a date in my van, and I decked it out. I got a stereo and everything and put in it. I put it in myself. I took, because it didn't have one in it. And I just decked it out. I had like 5 speakers in that van off of that one little radio. I had that sucker rocking. I swear, I had it rocking. I had speakers all over, in the back of the van, in the front, tweeters, everything, off that one little radio, poor little radio. Couldn't take all them speakers, but I hooked it up and it sounded pretty good. You know, had to get rid of that van. I was so mad, and I took my radio out and put it in my other car. I had a two-seater. It was a Opel GT. It was a half American, half German car. It looked like a baby Corvette. That car would have been worth a lot of money now. A lot of money. It was a 4-speed, two-seater. Hey, Gladys. I was waiting on you. We talked earlier. I don't know if I told you guys, Gladys and I have been friends for years. We were talking earlier about me and Dinah Lynn Biggs. Gladys and I, same thing. Never crossed that line, you know. And I got to say this, Gladys, as fine as you were, Gladys, I was like, no, I can't cross the line with her. Gladys was in my house one time. I don't know if she'll remember this, but it was so hot in my apartment. I was on, what was it, 67th and Prairie, 6716 South Prairie. I never forget it. And we were in my house, and it was just so hot in the house. And Gladys took off her shirt. I was like, back at that time, Gladys had been working out. So Gladys was like, and she took off her shirt like it wasn't nothing. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. We buddies. I was like, dang, Gladys, you make me look like, like the little puny guys that you kick sand in. She was like, oh. I'm like, you go, girl. Two in a row from the elements, earth, wind, and fire for my pastor, Tyrone Handy Sr. That is, I write a song for you. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. It is the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Hello to Claude Young, a.k.a. DJ Frosty. He said, remember the Macintosh amps back in the day? Yeah, they were huge. They were heavy. And they were just expensive. Yeah. I still have a Macintosh setup. I have a amp and a preamp. It is at 80th and Aberdeen right now in the closet with two 1200s sitting on top of it. Yeah. I need my amp back, okay? I'm just letting you know. I need my amp back. Hello to my good friend Gladys Horton. We had almost a 2-hour talk this afternoon. Both of us venting to each other. It's like, she was first, and then it was like, okay, now it's my turn. And I said, looks like we're going through the same things, aren't we? How about that? But how many people know that, and like I said to my son earlier, I said, things only happen for a season, and they happen for a reason. And seasons only last for about 3 months. You have summer, winter, fall, spring. 3 months. And that's it. Everything goes back to the way it was or better than it was. So, mine was, I had like what was it? A gap between, I guess, 2017 to like almost to 2020, where I didn't even work. Something had happened along the way, like Earth, Wind, and Fire says. But once I got it sponged and everything else, everything was cool after that. Anyway, I said I would never get married again because of that first incident. What did I do? I got married again. Yeah. Sometimes we're just a glutton for punishment, aren't we? We are. And I remember when I was a kid, my first girlfriend that I ever had, she cheated on me. Now, at first, I wasn't upset. But when she told me what had happened, that's when I lost it. And since then, I wasn't really jealous until my second wife. And it wasn't because of her, it was like because of everybody around her. Your so-called friends. And Gladys knows what I'm talking about. Your so-called friends. As soon as you turn your back, your so-called friends are like, hey, baby, I hear you kicked Al out, so can I kick it over there? It ain't her, it's you. It's Eddie Rabbit, suspicions. Yep, and that's just it, Gladys. It be the ones that you know, you know. Be like, okay, all right. I'm like, what? My wife and I were having lunch. This was a few years ago, back in 2020. We were having lunch, and she was like, "What kind of friends do you have?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, and she started naming names. I'm like, "Yeah, what about them? They're not your friends." I said, "They say that they're my friends. They say that, you know, we cool. They say I'm your brother from another mother. They say it all the time." And there's something that somebody said, and it was recent, it was from a movie. It's a famous quote from a movie. And the quote is, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Friends, so-called friends, like the song says, they smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers, those friends that you think are your friends are not your friends. When she told me this, I was shocked but not surprised. I said, "Oh, really?" Hmm. So I saw one of my friends the other night, and he was talking about, yeah, I started my own radio station, and I call it this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the blah, blah, blah. What's up, brother? Yeah. It's like, yeah, brother. Yeah, this is the same brother that invited my wife over his house to do a little decorating. And I say this all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not with her, but and I wish her well. But it's like my friend asked her to come over his house. Really? My friend. So you have to be leery about who your friends are, or who's truly a friend and who is just an acquaintance. You know, you have acquaintances and then you have friends. Um, Karma knows everyone's address. I heard that. I hear you. I never thought my friends would hit on anybody that I've ever dated, married, whatever, you know. And I was one friend slept with an ex of mine. A couple of friends slept with some of my exes. A couple of them. I ain't gonna name no names, but they know who they are. If they're on this live and they're watching me, it's like I know, you know, I know what you did last summer, you know. And that's why some of them are having a tough time now. Some of them are having a real tough time. They're having an even worse time than I'm having. But like Gladys just said, karma knows everyone's address. Now, if you're a friend, then most friends would have tried to get me back home. Instead, they were trying to get in my home. Yeah, that's what you walked into, Lady G. You know. And my thing is, get your own woman. I'm sorry. Right. Friends don't cross that line. I don't want to see you with her. I don't care if I'm not with her ever again. I don't want to see you with her. Now, my exes have moved on. Most of them have either gotten married or, moved on and moved on. But they ain't dating nobody that I know. They're not married to anyone that I know. That's just it. I did a wedding reception a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know the guy. I knew her, but him, oh no. You know. Same thing with this other young lady. Her husband just had a birthday. I don't know him, you know. And my thing is, hey, you know, there's a lot of women out here. Find your own, you know. I'm sorry, I just don't want to see a so-called friend with an ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, or whatever. Been there, done that, and it don't feel good, you know. My best friend dated a young lady that I ended up almost getting married to. And that almost broke our relationship up, our friendship, because, um, you know, I invited him to the wedding. He said, "Oh, I'm DJing that day." It's like, "Oh, okay." That was it. We let a woman come between us. I hate to say it, but it was bros before hoes. But we were bros a long time ago before these women even, entered the picture. And once again, he would leave her and go out of town and leave her at home. She would call me. Say, "Yeah, he left me. What you doing?" So we were both at fault, but we crossed that line. We fell in love. You know, we fell in love. He came back and, she quit him and that was it. You're not, no, you're not on my karma list. Nah. But sometimes, you just, you know, leave other people's women alone. Like Ray said, you better leave my woman alone. What do Luther, Make Me a Believer, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al. We're almost out of here. Can I play this one song before I leave? I just need a one song, one cry before I get out of here. And this song always does it for me. The Main Ingredient featuring Mr. Donald McPherson. You've been my inspiration. This one's for you, Gladys. Terry, what's going on, Terry from Gary? Terry from Gary. That's my girl. I remember back in the day, before there was Facebook Live. What was that? It was Facebook, before Facebook Live. It was something we would talk back and forth and we could see each other. But it wasn't Facebook Live. It was something else. But I remember it wasn't Messenger and MySpace. There you go. Yeah. Skype. No, was it Skype? Yeah, it was Skype. Hold on. Hold that thought, Terry. Terry from Gary. Woo, I used to have a crush on Terry from Gary. Good Lord. Talk about a crush. I don't mind telling you either. I had a crush on you, Terry. You in my inspiration. All right, let me stop trying to sing. That's going to do it for your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for being on my live. To Terry from Gary, Terry Sams. No, that's not Terry from Commonwealth. That's Terry from the Taste, Gladys. That's Terry from the Taste, from Friday nights at the Taste, to be exact. Thank you, Gladys. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Lady G. Thank you to John Caldwell. Just everybody. Thank you for being on my live. I really appreciate you guys as always. Even Troy, even though he, kind of gets on everybody's nerves, he is, he's a, yeah, he's a, yeah, he's a okay guy. He did come to my first wedding. I remember that, which is probably why it didn't work out. He jinxed it. But anyway, we'll do it again real soon right here on Bedtime Stories. Thank you to all the stations that carry me, including my own, as well as bigsradio.com and, of course, thebestmusicofyourlife.com. Appreciate you guys so much. Gladys, we'll talk probably tomorrow. Yeah. Have yourselves a great morning. Get you some sleep, guys, all right? Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, Terry from Gary. Terry from Gary. Yeah, that's Terry from the Taste on Friday nights. KC Productions presents. Yep. But thanks again, guys. I appreciate you all so much. Speaking of Commonwealth, had to straighten that out. Speaking of Commonwealth, a few weeks ago I did their jazz brunch, which thanks to you, Gladys, I've been doing it for what, 7, 8 years now? Yep. Yep. Thanks to you, I've had a long lasting relationship with Commonwealth Church. Yep. So big ups. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys once again. You all truly make my night. I'm going to be up for about an hour doing some work. And then after that, I'm going to lay it down. Make it do what it do, baby. If you know what I mean. Got to put myself to sleep, to bed and to sleep. Yeah, all by myself. But yeah, in other words, sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hand, if you know what I mean. Anyway, thank you, Gladys. I love you. Terry, Lady G, everybody. I love you guys. I truly do. All right, that's it. I bid you adieu. Peace out. Talk to you later, Gladys.